First thing you're going to do, pull your seat up, run your seat belt through the steering wheel, buckle it in, because there's a clock spring inside the steering wheel, and if this wheel's a turn too quickly, it could break it. Your cruise control and your horns, nothing would work. So do that first. All right, we're going to start out by removing our steering shock stabilizer. We're going to have to remove these bolts. They are a 15 millimeter. We're going to remove our shock on this end right here. It got an 18 millimeter wrench on the back side and a 15 millimeter socket on the front. Pull the bolt out, drop the nut, remove the shock completely. All right, using your 21 millimeter, going to take the nut off for your drag link that goes to your pitman arm. Using the pitman arm separator, separate your drag link from your pitman arm. Pushing our drag link behind our pitman arm, we'll just set it down on the tie rod end link. We're going to move our tie rod in. It's going to be a 21 millimeter also. I'll take hammer and pop it here and press down on your tie rod link. We've got our tie rod in laid out here, plus with our drag link, and we're going to measure. So you want to center your ruler dead center of the bottom of the tie rod end right here. All right, measure from here. We're going to go to dead center of this side of the tie rod end. And if you notice, I run the tape measure underneath it. That way we get a measurement dead on. So here, I'm exactly at 61 1/4 inches. And we're going to write that down and transfer that over to our new tie rod end link. All right, this is the passenger side of your tie rod link. So we're going to go ahead and make an adjustment here to where we're supposed to be. You want to take your jam nut. You see it spins this way. You want to run your jam nut all the way close to the tie rod end, as close as you can get it. Then you're going to tighten the tie rod end all the way up against the tie rod link. And you want at least 1 to 2 threads, no more than 2. Now I can't see a thread at all, so I'm going to go another turn. And it looks like we have, if I can see that. All right, I don't know if y'all can see that. I got 2 threads showing. That's the most you want showing. Take your jam nut. I'm gonna run it down right there just for now. Take our hard wire. Run a washer through there. It's a pinch bolt, that's what this is called. Put it on. I'm just going to get it started. Take your bolt, washer, run it up through there, just like that. Got another washer. Put your nut on. Okay, we're going to remove our castle nut, put it in our magnetic tray so we don't lose it. And we're going to grease our boot and our boot cover. Now, it's going to come in a pack just like this. Take you a flathead screwdriver. All you got to do is get in that groove right there and just turn your screwdriver like that. Come on the other side, stick it in there, turn it just a little bit. just enough to work it out. All right, so get you some grease. Put it on the inside. Place it down on there. And pop it down over the lip. Now take your dust boot cover, grease the inside of it. Get grease all inside there. You're gonna place it over your boot. Push it all the way down. All right. And take some grease, put on the outside of your boot. All right, before we install our tie rod end link, you want to make sure right here at the knuckle where your tie rod end link goes in from the bottom. And depending on which ear model, some go in from the top. But you want to smooth this right here out. Make sure there ain't no burrs or nothing. Make sure it's flat. Because if you don't, it will not seat properly. And with this Synergy setup, that could cause a problem for you. So just take you a grinding wheel and a little bit of a sanding disc and just smooth it right there out. Do it on both sides. At least do it on the bottom. You can do it on the top also if you want to. We're gonna slide our passenger side in first. Get the nut started. All right, next we're gonna put our driver's side tie rod in. And you wanna start out with your tie rod and your adjuster sleeve all the way in. Put it all the way in, just until it bottoms out. Get the nut snug down real good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and tighten our tie rod ends down to our knuckle. This is a 21 millimeter. Now factory torque specs is you go 40 foot-pounds and additional 90 degrees, but Synergy with their stuff, they want you to go to 70 foot-pounds. So we're gonna torque it 70 foot-pounds. All right, if you look here, that actually lined the hole up for my Carter pin. So go ahead and put your Carter pin in. If this does not line up, do not loosen this nut. Tighten it until you can clear the hole for your Carter pin, then put the Carter pin in. But like I said, don't loosen it, tighten it. Go a little bit further, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. All right, slide your Carter pin in. Bend it back. 70 foot-pounds. All right, slide it in on this side. Bend it up. Bend it there down. Perfect. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get our Zerk fitting in. And we can use the edge of the Zerk fitting to pull our tape measure across, make sure we're still lined up. And tighten it down. Now don't go crazy on these, just get it good and snugged up. That's all you gotta do. Okay, we're at the point now. We wanna make sure our tie rod link is level, which means it's not tilting down or up, it's completely level across. And of course the curve's gonna go towards the front of the truck. So do that, then we can tighten our pinch bolts down. All right, on our pinch bolt, we're gonna go to 90 foot-pounds. All right, our jam nut here on the passenger side, we're gonna run it down towards our tie rod link. We're gonna wanna torque this to 200 foot-pounds. All right, next, we're gonna extend this out and get our 61 1/4 inch length that we our factory one was at. And this is a 1 1/4 inch wrench. And just adjust it out. Just like that. Measure the center of this circle fitting. That's 61 1/4. Next, you're going to put your front wheels back on and tie a piece of string to the passenger side leaf spring. And we're going to go all the way around the truck, around each tire and wheel, and tie the other end of the string to the driver's side leaf spring on the rear. Using a tape measure, measure the distance between the rims on the front side, and also measure the distance between the rims on the back side. Spin the adjuster sleeve until you get both measurements matching. Next, using your adjuster sleeve, pull the front of the rims 1/16 of an inch closer in. As you do this, it will open the back of the rims up 1/16 of an inch. Using your tape measure, that should give you your 1/8 of an inch toe in. Once you get your measurement from the front of your rim 1/8 of an inch closer than the back of the rim, you're going to come up here and tighten down your pinch bolt to 90 foot-pounds. Get your crescent wrench, place right here, and see if you can spin this double adjuster sleeve. If you can't spin it, you're good to go. But if you can spin it, you can go up to 120 foot-pounds on this pinch bolt. But whatever you do, do not go past that. Let's make sure our string is making contact on the sidewall of all 4 tires without any bends in the string or a gap between the sidewall and the string. We're going to do the sight test, what I call a sight test. The back side of your sidewall here on the back side of the rim should disappear at the exact same time as your back wheel. So we're going to go here and we'll shift over. Yep. That one disappeared at the exact same time. Do this one here. Back wheel needs to disappear at the same time as the back of the front wheel or the sidewall of the tire. Yep. Now that's how you know your wheels are straight and your alignment's right. All right, let's put the drag link in. All right, we got our drag link here. So this right here is the passenger side. The bend will go forward towards the front of the truck, and your bend is also on the passenger side. And the tie rod end that don't have a jam nut or anything, that's on the passenger side. So you want to screw this all the way in if you have a lift that's 3.5 inches or lower. So anywhere between 0 to 3.5 inches, you want to screw this tie rod in all the way. Okay, and when we go put it in the truck, we'll have to adjust it like that right there. But anyway, put your pinch bolt, got a washer, then you got another washer and a nut. Then we'll go over here, driver's side, put your pinch bolt in, washer, then a washer and a nut, and then take your double adjuster sleeve, turn it, screw it all the way in, and then your tie rod all the way in. All right, slide your grease fittings in. Tighten them down, just snug them up. All right, do the other side. All right, we got this as tight as it'll go. And this is gonna set just like this. Your pinch bolt's gonna run up and down. So we're gonna loosen it just enough to get our tie rod end to go into our tie rod end link. Just like this. We'll get the nut started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this counterclockwise till I can get it to go into the pitman arm. All right, so I've extended this out in order to get it in my pitman arm, and you're not allowed to go more than 3 1/4 inches from the zerk to the end of the drag link, and I'm at 3 1/2. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to pull the drag link out of the tie rod link and adjust this other side out. All right, so what I've done was I pulled this here back out and I adjusted this out to 2 1/2 inches from the zerk fitting to the end of the drag link right here. Now, you don't want to get, you cannot go more than 2 3/4. That is as far as you can go out with this and be safe. So I went 2 1/2. All right, I've got this right here adjusted out now, and it measures just barely under 3 1/4, which is the max. So much more, and I would need a pitman arm that drops down. So keep in mind, just like our tie rod link, you want to make sure your threads right here are match or no more than 1 thread off. You want equal amount of thread showing for your tie rod and your double adjuster sleeve. Get this nut here started. All right, using our 21 millimeter, we're going to torque the castle nut down to 70 foot-pounds, and the one that's going into the tie rod end link on the other side, going to torque it to 70 foot-pounds as well. Next, you're going to want to make sure the head of this bolt right here is setting exactly level with the top of your tie rod end. You want it, I mean, just perfectly level as you can get it, and just tighten this down enough to hold the drag link there. But don't torque it, don't torque these bolts just yet. All right, if you look right here, our hole for our cotter pin is actually below our castle nut. So we're gonna have to take this right here back off. I've already loosened it. About 3 washers here. And that should get us about right. Run our cotter pin in, bend it down. Our hole's right here, so we're gonna have to tighten this here up a little bit more. Bend it down. Tighten this pinch bolt right here down to 90 foot-pounds. Grab your adjustable wrench. And make sure that sucker don't spin inside the drag link. Nope. Let's go the other way. Check it this way. No, I believe we're good to go. All right, we're gonna go ahead and tighten our pinch bolt down to 90 foot-pounds. Our drag link right here is level. Everything looks good. So now, just got your grease fitting up there. You want to grease your tie rod in here and the one here on the drag link. You do one pump because if not, you could bust them boots. Just one pump, and that is what Synergy wants you to do. It's just one pump. And then here, it didn't really say how many pumps. I just maybe splash a couple pumps in there on your tie rod ends. All right, we'll go ahead and install our bracket. It goes on the back side right here. Now the open end where the shock goes in at, it's going to go towards the passenger side of the truck. Run the U-bolt in there. Install a washer. And a nut. Using our 1/2 inch, I'm just going to run them down, snug them up pretty good. All right, we're going to install our steering shock stabilizer. Just line it up, put the bolt in there. Put her nut on the back. All right, using our 18mm on the nut on the back and a 15mm on the bolt. Snug it down. Now we'll take the other end of our shock here. Try to line this right here up. All right, put your washer on your bolt. Another washer. And your nut. All right, using your 19mm wrench and socket, torque this down to 80 foot-pounds. Using your 18mm wrench and your 15mm socket, torque this bolt down to 75 foot-pounds.
All right, using your tape measure, measure the chrome part of the shock and make sure you got roughly 4 3/4 exposed. Adjust your bracket over as needed to get that 4 3/4. Then lock your U-bolts down to 15 foot-pounds. Very last step, turn your steering wheel side to side and make sure the bracket's not hitting the differential cover. If it is, loosen the U-bolts, pull the bracket towards the front of the truck, tighten them back down to 15 foot-pounds. As always, thanks for watching. That's a wrap.